Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's session with Hitchhiker's Guide to M365. I think following our last discussion, Wes, we all agreed there is no way to jump on this journey into the M365 world at the moment without touching on the latest technology that's come out of Microsoft in terms of the AI functionality in M365 called Copilot.
Yeah, definitely. It's certainly the hottest topic coming out of Microsoft, that's for sure. They've put a lot of time and investment into the Copilot functionality, and it just seems to be, well, funnily enough, expanding at the rate the universe is expanding as well. Really, isn't it? Because it's touching on all different parts of our working lives, from the Teams apps through to Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Loop in there as well, and also what do we call it? The Bing Enterprise Chat, which is now Copilot. So yeah, it's expanding rapidly, and it's really difficult to keep ahead of what's what.
No, 100%. I think the thing with Microsoft M365 previously is it's always been seen as while an all-encompassing license has been made up of individual siloed products and applications. And I think the great thing that Copilot's doing is understanding that every single person uses each one of these applications, and now Copilot is enabling all of those applications to be able to work more effectively together and speed up that productivity that's coming to those end users, and actually having it so that they're able to get them, save 1 to 2 hours a week on productivity. I mean, you and we've had Copilot now for a while, and from my perspective, there's been a while since a new product or a new technology has come out that I'd be seriously angry if someone took off me. Do you find that does it help you in your day to day?
Absolutely, yeah. So, to begin with, it's kind of like, oh, okay, how do I go about using it? Like, how can I use it? And I think when Microsoft were first talking about it and giving the demo, the sort of like marketing demo, it took you on this really nice journey of like, okay, so let's just start with an Excel document. You've got this Excel document. It's full of raw data. You can ask Copilot to create some insights around that data and put it into a table and put it into graphs and things like that. And then you can take and then save that, open a Word doc, and then ask Copilot in Word to create a 500-word article based on those insights. Might be a short exec summary, for instance. And then what you were supposed to be able to do was then take that Word document, take it into PowerPoint, then ask PowerPoint, refer to this document and create me a 5-slide PowerPoint deck. That was the kind of, for me, I was like, wow, that would be absolutely amazing if that's the case. It's not the case at this moment in time. It is still not, it's not quite there, but you can do all those things in the different applications. But for me, it's not quite working well enough to give the insights of refer to this document. With Word, yeah, it does. You can take a PDF, for instance, and then get it to summarize things like that. But for me, where it's really saved me loads of time is when I'm creating content around a blog, an article, whatever it might be, bringing different points of view across. So like when there's a big announcement going out, for instance, and you need to create an email, you need to create a LinkedIn post, you need to create the Word doc, that has genuinely saved me time. What would normally take half a day of like thinking about how am I going to structure this, how am I going to do it, it's kind of like, right, Copilot, this is my idea, this is what I want to get out of it, please write me a 500-word article on this. And and it does it in seconds. And that, for
I mean,
me,
it does it to a base level. I think one of the key things, the messaging that came out of Microsoft in the first instance was it's a Copilot. It's not the pilot. It's not the one who has the final say. It's not the device that's going to write everything for you, but it does help you get that bedrock and foundation in terms of creating a document. So where it was a case of you used to create your base deck, then you'd go through slide by slide and tweak and amend, you're skipping that whole first stage, and within 30 seconds are having that base level of a document that you then, as a person, obviously not relying on the AI, have to still then go through and review that to make sure that it's both accurate, because obviously you're the one accountable at the end of the day, but also to put your own human spin on that as well, to make sure you're not lost in your personality isn't lost within that document or presentation.
Yeah, completely agree with that.
Yeah, I think as one thing as well as I think that Copilot that people potentially are overlooking and definitely sort of the wow factor that you see on a lot of these programs is the bang 7 slides PowerPoint deck, how quick it can create that content for you. But a lot of the benefits can be found on the smaller levels depending on your individual roles. Personally, I don't create documents. Being a person who can't write at the best of times, it's not the person you want writing and creating sort of valuable content. However, working as an account director with Microsoft Technologies, I often find myself utilizing the communication tools. I pretty much live in Teams. I have to find, share, and collaborate on existing documents. I need to send and receive emails through Outlook, and the speed of which that is able to summarize email threads, summarize Teams chats that I potentially have missed, summarize meetings, or if I can't attend a meeting, potentially follow a meeting and summarize what it is that I've missed on that latest, dare I say, HR call that you've not attended. I keep getting invited to the menopause chat. Not 100% sure it's relevant for myself, but I always follow, make sure I've got all the latest information. So
always good to learn.
There's so much time and effort that can be sped up. And for me, the other day, I was playing around with the Outlook mobile app and Copilot and looking at how much time it can speed up on the move. So whereas before I might look at something on my phone and be like, okay, I don't really know what you're referring to. I'll just leave that until I get back to my desk. One click of summarize this email thread, and it pulls all the information from across the platforms to be like, you're talking about this is what you said, this is what they're referring to. And I was able to quickly respond to that customer within a minute of them sending me an email, whereas normally I'd have said, I'll wait until I'm back at my desk. So the speed of response as well as the speed of resolution time is hugely improved by having that AI just giving me the insights and information to be able to action and take action. And I think that is really relevant for my role. And then people like yourself, obviously working more around the blogs, working more with presentations and delivering this information to a large audience. I assume that the content creation has been a huge benefit for you in speeding up that. Turning a deck around no longer takes a week. The first 2 days are consolidated.
Yeah, and that's right, because and you referred to this earlier, and it's like you kind of have that what was called like writer's block. So you know what you want to say, but you just don't know how to start it. And Copilot's just fantastic at getting you started. So like some people said, oh, it's going to ruin creativity and all of this. And actually, if anything, it's going to accelerate the amount of creative time that you can have, because you're not spending time going, oh, how do I get this bit to word how I want it to word? What am I trying to get across? And it just gets your idea down on paper in a really succinct way, and then you can obviously go in and tweak it and change it. And I think there's there's a lot of learning from all sorts of people around Copilot. And, I was just at an event this week and we were talking to various people about Copilot, and they just don't, they don't know where to start, because already Microsoft has released so much information. And from our point of view, in our roles and working with Microsoft, they've invested so much money in the workshops and pilots that are available to organizations, specifically for the adoption and change piece, because that is going to be the thing, that the hurdle that everyone needs to get over, like that, because you've got, within an organization, you've got people at the start of their career all the way through to nearing the end of their career, like retiring. And there's going to be different levels of knowledge throughout, and that's really hard to get a new thing across. And also to remove like fear factor of, is this thing using information outside of like in the World Wide Web in total, and it's not. You can get into the web all up, but all of the information is within your tenant. So yeah,
I think when it comes to why companies and organizations previously didn't roll out technologies, often came down to just don't know how to deploy it. But as technology moves more and more towards SaaS-based products, and the deployment side of Copilot is essentially assigning the license, and Copilot will work, it then comes down to not how do I deploy, but how do I use. And I think user adoption is a really, really key thing when it comes to giving someone this power. Not to quote Spider-Man, obviously great power comes great responsibility, but you're giving this power of AI to your end users to make sure that they're using it both effectively to get the best return of investment, but also compliantly, and make sure that you as an organization have all those pieces in place to make sure you do see the return of investment and also not get stung through misuse, or worst case in any license, not use at all, because there is zero return on that. But I think there's so many, like you've mentioned already, there's so many different areas, and there's so many tweaks and quirks that come to Copilot. Potentially we need to look at breaking those down over the next couple of weeks, and starting off looking, as you mentioned, with PowerPoint, and sort of that content creation. Potentially we can talk about that next week, and then have a situation where we show you how that sort of source to see approach of creating the document, collaborating the document, expanding that document into all the other platforms, and then fundamentally how that can benefit the wider point of how that information and content is shared and collaborated and communicated.
So we'll go deeper into the different applications and how they work, and probably give a few demos, perhaps.
Maybe get a demo. Who knows? Maybe someone from Microsoft will be kind enough to support us on our new channel.
Cool.
Brilliant. In that case, I hope you have a great rest of your week, Wes, and look forward to hearing the next thing on our chat.
Cool. Cheers, Gordon. Take care.